Okay. All right. Solving the problem of evil. What's the problem of evil? What's the big problem? The problem is that if God or existence itself or a Buddha or anyone or anything is all loving, all powerful, and all knowing, then it seems as if evil shouldn't exist. Because why would anything with those three attributes allow me or anyone else to suffer? It doesn't seem consistent. And the solution to that problem is that evil actually gives us the opportunity to overcome evil. That were it not for imperfection, we could not overcome imperfection. And without an initial flaw, we could not go through the process of becoming flawless. So this is the process of maturation. The individual souls are generated with a state of immaturity, and through their experience, they learn to go through the process of making virtuous decisions, culminating in the removal of the ignorance of their true nature, which is absolute truth or the good itself. You might even call it God, pure existence, consciousness, bliss. Doesn't really matter to me, but you go through the process of making good decisions, seeing the good consequences of those decisions, making bad decisions, seeing the bad consequences of those decisions, and reforming your actions accordingly. And that's the process of maturation. And eventually, through that process, you become a saint, a Buddha, a Jivan Mukta, a friend of God, a Zaddik. It doesn't even really matter what you call it. You just become a fully matured being. So you might object and say, well, why couldn't I have been generated as a fully mature being in the first place? I could have just skipped the process of all that suffering and all those decisions and choices that I had to make. And the response to that objection is that if you had not actually gone through the process of overcoming evil, then you would have a perfect being that is actually less than a being that had gone through the process of overcoming imperfection. So you have two perfect beings, but one has gone through the process of overcoming imperfection, and then you have another perfect being that was simply generated perfect. And the opportunity granted to you is to actually have this greater perfection, that you've actually gone through the long journey of becoming perfect and attained perfection. So that's the simple solution to the problem of evil. That were it not for evil, you could not overcome evil. That were you not immature, you could not overcome immaturity. That may seem problematic on short time scales, like in the case of, say, infants that die early, or all sorts of seemingly innocent people who die and don't seem to have the opportunity to overcome whatever imperfections they may have. But if you extend the process across multiple lifespans, potentially infinite lifespans, then the individual soul has a very, very long time in which it may mature. Yes, this is the idea of reincarnation. The ancient Greeks called it metempsychosis. You might call it the transmigration of the soul. It doesn't really matter what culture you see this idea in. Many ancient cultures had it. You can even find it in the writings of Julius Caesar. He encountered the Gauls and the Celts, and he said some of these people actually believe in reincarnation. He was talking about the Druids, that he saw Druids, and he was like, these people believe in reincarnation. Anyway, in this idea, you have the avenue for justice across multiple lifespans. You have the opportunity to mature across multiple lifespans. And that's how you can see it play out. If you want to recall your past lives, I've read in particularly Buddhist scriptures that you need to meditate a lot. I'm not talking an hour a day, I'm talking many hours a day, and you have to refine your mind to be able to remember deep into your past lives. So many people would have a hard time remembering what they had for breakfast 2 days ago, never mind what they did 2 eons ago. So if you want to discern causality, the play of justice across multiple lifespans, then you need to refine your mind sufficiently through lots of meditation and also through lots of good decisions. You need to be an ethical person. And you might say, well, why is that? And that has to deal with existence itself, the nature of your mind, the nature of consciousness being good. That if you do not live in accordance with existence, then you're going to have a dull, obscured consciousness that is driven by all sorts of viceful behaviors, so viceful habits. And as you make better and better decisions, more virtuous and virtuous decisions, those viceful habits will be attenuated and you'll start to behave more easily in accordance with existence. So this is just the process of maturation across multiple lifetimes, and part of why you may not be able to remember, say, past this life is just because you're cloudy. You need to practice. At least that's the theory. Okay. I hope this helps.